Let's explore data types. Data types are a really important part of UnRemote2. Every show in UnRemote2 has several data types. Data types are the building blocks of information that make up a show. In this case, for example, we have this Formula One show. If we click on data type, we can see the data types that we have available for this show, for this Formula One show. We have cameras, we have drivers, and we have teams. Each of these data types can have fields. If we click on this button here, we can access the fields that a data type contains. And we can also access the actual content of the data types. We will see this in a little bit. If we want to create a new data type, we just press on the new data type button and we get this simple form. You just add the name and the description and you are ready to go. Of course, you can edit them, changing everything as usual, or you can delete them if needed. So let's go into fields. Each data type is made up of fields. In this case, if we go to driver, driver is made up of several fields. You can have a name, you can have a surname, a number, a photo. All of these fields are customizable. I have defined them. And each of them has a data type, for example, image, text, etc. All of these I can set up on my own and customize my data type to my needs. You can also use another data type as a type of field. In this case, a driver can belong to a team. This is a way of making relationships between the fields. So in this case, a driver will contain all the information that is contained also in the respective team. We can also reorder the fields to our convenience. This is useful when you're going to enter the data to make it easier for anyone entering the data for this data type. So let's create a new field. Click on the new field button and then just give it a name and then a type. It can be any of these or it can be any of the other data types available. Then you have to define the variable in Unreal Engine Blueprint. What is this? This is something really important. When UnRemote2 sends information to Unreal Engine, the blueprint that will display the information will expect certain variables. In this case, if we're going to send the age, we need a variable called age. For example, whatever we call it, this is the variable that the blueprint is going to look for. So they perfectly match in order to work. We can, of course, modify it. The only restriction is that you cannot change the type because depending on the type, you're going to be inserting one information or other. So if you want to modify the type, you have to delete the field and create it again. So this is how we define the fields for our data types. So let's see now how to enter data for these data types. We created the fields, now we're going to enter the content. So let's click on the data button to enter new content for this data type. Here you can see all the drivers that I have already set up for these data types. This is the data type driver, and these are all the drivers that I have already in the system. You can click on the plus button and then you will see the specific content that you have entered. All of these fields we have set up earlier in the data type, like name, surname, number, photo. All of these things we have set up in the field section, and now we're entering the content. So we can create a new data content by clicking the new data button. And then we are presented with this form, which has exactly the same fields that we created before. Plus one, we have the first one, which is the dataset name. Every data set, this is how we called it, this is every data content. Every data set has a name and then all the fields that you have defined in the previous section. So this data set name is going to be test. Let's just say the name is going to be test name, test surname, number 12, no photo, no flag, 13 points. And let's just type in some random data. Then select a team. We can select any of the teams that are available in the system and then click OK. And here we have our new data set. Here it is, test. with all the information we have entered, and the team, in this case, Ferrari. In this case, all the data that is contained into the team Ferrari will be available for this driver to use in Unreal Engine. In this case, let's just delete this data set because we are not going to need it really. Well, I didn't mention this before, but when we were talking about the field, I said that you have to specify the type of the field. Normally, this is like another data type, text, or image, but there is a special type of field that is called Unreal Actor. Let's see this how it works. If we go to the data type cameras, I have set up a field that is of type Unreal Actor, which is called camera. Remember, you can just create a new field and then set the field to be an Unreal Actor like this. Now, how do we enter data for a field that is of type Unreal Engine Actor? Let's go to the data type and then go to the datasets for the cameras. As you can see, I have created 3 cameras, camera long, medium, and wide. So let's create a new camera, or let's assign a new camera inside Unreal Engine to this data type. Let's create a new dataset. Let's give it a name. And then to select the camera inside Unreal Engine, let's have our program open inside Unreal Engine. Now select your camera, either in the outliner or in the viewport. And then in the UnRemote2 screen, just click this button. And then the path to the object inside Unreal Engine will be copied to the database. This way, you can create, for example, a camera control. You can store all the cameras and then inside your blueprint in Unreal Engine, change from one camera to the other. And that is all for data types. It is a little bit more complex subject, so I hope you liked it and see you next time.